Hello and welcome to today's lesson on the synthesis of cancer-treating drugs with a focus on paclitaxel. So we all know the cancer industry is a multi-million-dollar industry today. Cancer is so widespread in the world that the rumor is we all know someone who's had it, right? But do we know the actual cost of making drugs to cure this disease? Not many do. So welcome to your first lesson. The first thing to know is what a catalyst is. A catalyst is a reagent that is used to increase the rate of chemical reaction by decreasing the activation energy of the reaction. These added reagents are not consumed and can often be recycled. If you're wondering what activation energy is, it's basically the idea that to get from one set of reagents to a product, energy must be put in. This energy varies, and the rule of thumb is the lower you can get it, the better, which is where catalysts come in. Biocatalysis is the use of natural substances to speed up the rate of the chemical reactions. We will focus on whole cell biocatalysis, where whole cell catalysts, which are cells or organisms such as yeast or bacteria, are used to convert the reagents into the desired product at a faster rate. Our focus is on the complex anti-cancer agent of paclitaxel. It is a polycyclic diterpene that acts on the microtubule proteins responsible for the formation of spindles, therefore inhibiting spindle formation and cancerous cell division. Now, if you find that description a bit daunting, all you have to know is that it's a relatively simple cyclic molecule with side chains and oxygen linkages, which stop the cancerous cells from spreading. The paclitaxel molecule was also originally isolated from the bark of the North American yew tree, which can be seen on the slide. The production of paclitaxel through the semi-synthetic approach is not very green. Using this process, 3,000 yew trees are required to produce 1 measly kilogram of purified paclitaxel. The primary extractions from the bark of the yew tree are taxanes, bactin-3, and 10-DAB, and these need to be further converted to produce the final paclitaxel product. To obtain the final paclitaxel product, 11 chemical reactions and 7 isolations are required. In these processes, 13 different non-recyclable organic solvents, water, and corrosive chemicals are used. It doesn't end there. 11 water-sensitive steps, 5 cryogenic temperature steps, and 7 drying steps also take place. The basic message being it's a very long, energy-intensive, wasteful, and possibly dangerous synthesis. The greener approach to paclitaxel synthesis is paclitaxel cell fermentation. In this process, the plant cell culture phyton is used because it is found to be useful in the production of relatively low molecular weight molecules such as paclitaxel. Plant cell fermentation is an 8-step process, including a production cell bank, a callus growth on a solid agar plate, a seed buildup in a liquid culture, a primary fermentation, which is the growth phase, a secondary fermentation, which is the production phase, a whole broth extraction, a chromatographic purification, and finally a crystallization. The most important steps being that the crude paclitaxel is isolated in the whole broth extraction phase, separated via chromatography, and crystallized as a solid. The advantages of PCF over the semi-synthetic approach relate to the 12 principles of green chemistry. First, PCF prevents waste as the bulk of the solvent is acetonitrile, which can be reused for chromatography. There are also no highly toxic reagents or solvents used throughout the process. The number of chemical reactions required to purify paclitaxel is significantly reduced, and no tetrahydrofuran is used, which is a solvent with a tendency to form highly explosive peroxides. The disadvantages of plant cell fermentation are that the energy required to hold the fermentation tanks at optimal temperature is high. However, the removal of cryogenics and drying steps is preferred. Also, the plant cell fermentation process requires the use of over 1 million liters of water over a 5-year period compared to the use of 432,000 liters required in the semisynthetic approach over the same time period. In conclusion, the synthesis of paclitaxel is environmentally costly, and by no means is the plant cell fermentation process perfect, but with continued efforts to make this process more efficient and less water dependent, the industry stands to become greener while helping cure cancer. Thank you for your attention.